moving on to your second game, which was World of Warcraft.
Oh, what a game.
Which, like, I always feel really envious of people who grew up with World of Warcraft, because I remember when it came out and like it was so spicy because obviously it's an online game.
Yeah.
And I just didn't ask my parents to help me to be able to experience it. For you, it's like, how did you first get into it? What compelled you to start on your journey?
Again, I think I saw this game in, I think it was like a Woolworths when they were around. Mm-hmm. And it was, it was just, it looked cool.
Yeah.
I thought it looked really awesome. And I was like, I asked my father, can I get this? He kind of looked at it and was like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. Bought it home, installed it in the PC and all that sort of thing. And again, our PC was in the living room. So again, it was kind of shared in a way between me and my father. My mother, not really, because my mother preferred going out and talking to friends.
Who thought?
Who would have thought?
I know.
But I was it was in the living room, and I remember installing this game. It took ages to install.
Oh my
with
gosh!
all these different CDs.
Back in the day of
man,
like installing games like that.
With the music as well. It was cool. Anyway, and then I'm like, okay, what's this? Make an account? What?
Yeah.
And then I realized that I now have to have this conversation with my father
Oh no!
about the subscription.
Yeah.
I'm like paying this. So he's like looking at me like, oh God, that doesn't make
What
sense.
have I done?
You've just bought a game
Yeah.
to pay for it even more.
Yep.
Anyway, he did, thank God. And he, it started my journey in World of Warcraft. And it was magical. I think, the thing that World of Warcraft did for me was it opened my mind to the online community of gamers who, I had a few friends who played games or who liked the, games, they'd come around, watch me play the N64 or the Mega Drive or whatever, and even family as well, right? But I don't think they had the love for it that I did. So I felt very isolated and alone on that front. You now are in an online world with other people who play games and who enjoy it as much as you do. It opens your world up.
Yeah.
So for me, it was, World of Warcraft was the first time I had online friends, played in guilds. Like it was really it was just really cool.
Yeah.
And I think there was, there definitely was an instance where it was probably a bit too much. I'd finish school, come back, log in, play, and my mom and dad would be like, buddy, you got to get out.
You need to have a life outside of Warcraft.
Yeah, this is it. But what it also did was, though, it introduced me to the Warcraft story, the world, the lore.
Yeah.
And that, I think that was funnily enough, that was my first love of big universes.
Yeah.
Of really cool, characters, history, stories.
Yeah, the lore.
Was just so amazing because it brought me, I played World of Warcraft first, then I went back to Warcraft 3, 2, and 1.
Gotcha.
And I was just in awe. I was just amazed at the depth and the history and everything. And I remember at the time, I was so I just wanted to be a Death Knight. You know what I mean? I was waiting for that class to come out. And, I think it came out later on down the line that, the Paladin can essentially champion themselves to be a Death Knight anyway. But I remember it was just so cool.
Yeah.
It was just so awesome. But again, I was just in love with the world of it all. I was in love with the level of detail. And I was really, again, sort of, the community that came out of it was, from my experience, just incredibly cool and incredibly great. And it made me actually, funnily enough, I had a friend who lived next door, literally next door. I met him on World of Warcraft.
Oh, I love that.
And we played online, and I was like, and there was that kind of thing of
the Spider-Man. Oh.
Literally, honestly, and we were where, because I remember.
How did you find out? How did you find out?
So this is the thing. I remember being oh yeah, are you based in the UK? He's yeah, I'm based in out in the sticks of the countryside. I was oh. What
part?
What part?
I feel that.
Exactly, because I'm oh, so am I. He's oh, cool, yeah. I'm in Wellingham City, and I was what? And there was that moment, obviously, of me being that kid of like, is this a trap?
Yeah.
Is this what is this?
Is this somebody who's in the
this,
house?
Like, yeah. And I was like, oh, cool. What school, do you go to? And he was like, oh, I go to this school. And I knew it was a different school to my school. So I was like, this guy's legit. So he ain't trying to kidnap me or anything.
Exactly.
So
it's fine. We didn't get into the bad spot.
But what ended up essentially happening was, I told him like, yeah, I live near, this road.
Yeah.
Right? And he was like, no way.
Oh my God.
And it was literally that Spider-Man moment of like, are you? We are?
Oh.
And we'd be like, I'm going outside. And we'd go outside our door. And I'd walk outside the door. And he'd walk outside. And we'd look. And we'd be like, oh my God.
That's so beautiful though.
And he was honestly, it's funny actually, we still talk. But like it was that whole thing of like our friendship blossomed because of online play.
Yeah.
And it was.
And you never would have known.
Never would have known.
No.
Like never would have known. Like, because again, it's that whole thing of like most people who are playing outside were either playing football or playing in the park.
Yeah.
That's fine. Like I used to play as well, but I didn't really hang outside.
It's not a thing where you can like kind of get in.
And like different school as well. And like honestly, that friendship, it blossomed then because we were playing Pokemon all the time and trading with Pokemon and stuff. We would collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards and like play with Yu-Gi-Oh. Like it was like I'd found someone who appreciated and loved games and these worlds as much as I did, and it came from World of Warcraft.